Hello everyone, we're just gonna finish off Legbeard Brianne tonight, because I'm kinda tired and should really go to sleep. I managed to finish my English, so that's good, but I still have biology paper and biology studying to do tomorrow, so we'll just get this out of the way so I can pop off to bed. So what happened in last one is we're talking about my experience with the Legbeard Brianne. In short, she's not very nice. And what happened was there's a couple boys and they broke up because one of them pushed the other down the stairs, and both of us were friends with them at the time. I didn't really know what was going on, but Brianne did, and she told me, and is currently trying to get me to make him the guy who is, well, one of the guys who's gotten out this bad breakup. God, it's hard to explain, it's so complicated. High school drama. Anyways, this boy realized I had no clue what was happening, so I was treating him like normal. Until this point, Brianne and I were exchange friends between them. If she was there, I wouldn't approach. If I was there, she'd stay away too. But the next day, she came up to me and immediately told me everything. My line of thinking was, better to keep playing dumb. It's better if we still have someone to check up on him who we can trust. Her line of thinking was that it was immediately my fault he stopped talking to her, and that was my problem to make him text her again, and she was not in the business of waiting. I think it's an intriguing thing to look at my emotions since meeting her in 6th grade. When I first got to middle school, I was hopeful and determined. 7th grade. When I first got to middle school, I was hopeful and determined to make friends. In grade 9, I was so angry that I was willing to die or be severely injured in favor of her looking bad. I was constantly angry, and little things would set me off. Even seeing her in the washroom or something would immediately cause me to raise my hackles. And as I stopped seeing her and stopped talking to her, I mellowed out quite a lot. I'm more like what I am now instead of constantly on guard. Worked on improving myself and fixed my insomnia. I started eating better and worked on my hobbies, writing and music. At the time, I thought it was just hormones going down as I finished puberty, but then this situation happened. And immediately, all over again, my blood was boiling. I realized that a lot of my childhood suffering had come from her. Suddenly, it was my fault if Kel decided to commit suicide, and she would guilt trip me about it all day. We shared a class. So for the whole class, an hour and 20 minutes, she was kicking me underneath the desk, demanding I make Kel talk to her, and I make sure he doesn't hurt himself or kill himself, which he would surely do if she can't talk to him. Now keep in mind that he was in grade 12, and we were in grade 10 when this happened. He's an 18-year-old. He has a family. He doesn't have any previous history that, to be fair, he'll let any of us know about. But it's a lot more obvious looking back that he was probably just, I'm not dealing with the drama well right now, which is quite fair, because it's hot gossip. What can I say? And just for a little bit of extra context on me, I have a limited amount of emotional space. If I'm feeling okay, I can deal with one other person's problems, and that's only until I feel down again. For this reason, I avoid looking after anyone with severe problems. This isn't to say that I wouldn't be there for them, but I wouldn't advertise it or do it for a long period of time. For example, I saw the other boyfriend, which was Noah, during this time, and all of his friends were trying to tell him to go to the police and go to court, and he didn't really want to do it. And I knew his favorite snack was sesame snaps, so we'd walk down to Safeway and get some, and we'd sit in the ballpark, and I'd do my best to put it in some perspective. We'd talk about his future and his goals. And I told him it's not his job to stop every bad thing in the world from happening at once. He can focus on just losing the person he loved for now. It's very surface level, but I think it helps people nevertheless. But if Noah had been kind to me, saying he was going to hurt himself, I wouldn't have been able to do anything except hurt myself, cry, and beg him not to do it. And that's one of my flaws, and I work with it. So the idea of Kel being in this harsh emotional state was really, really not something I wanted to deal with at all. So Brianne, still, nevertheless, always demanded a different technique than mine. Call him and tell him that she'll hurt herself if he doesn't talk to me. I told her I wouldn't do that, because that would definitely set him off no matter what. And she kicked me a lot, but I was kind of done with her shit. I finally yelled back, because I kind of grown a backbone while I wasn't talking to her, surprisingly. You are not helping. Go away. And she cried and ran out of the classroom. I told Kel over text that Brianne was coming after me because she wanted to talk to him, and he replied, tell her I don't want to talk, and I'm not talking to you either if you're talking to her. And even though I tried to say, no, this is what happened, he never responded. So now no one was in contact with him. Brianne came back, and I yelled at her more because Kel said stop talking to anyone. I was angry again, as angry as I was when she never apologized for attempting to kill me, as angry when I saw George's bruises and saw Jennifer with her tear-stained cheeks. I told her exactly what she had done, and she yelled at me for making her look bad in front of everyone. I told her she has to stop guilt-tripping me into trying to do what she wanted. And in the moment of me hating her the most, she told me she guilt-tripped people to get her way. I went to hit her, but got held back. She ran out of the classroom crying, and I went just completely dead. People tried to ask me what happened, and I just was like, fuck off. Just completely done. Skipped next classes, went home. Nobody told the teacher about it, because high school. Yeah, I really can't explain how much I hate guilt tripping in general. But so many people do it accidentally, it's like, I'm just trying to get you to understand my point of view, something. But she admitted to doing it because it benefited her, and that's so fucking terrible of her to do. So I was absolutely seething. I went home, and I took the next day off school. And I was just like, I'm sick, I'm not going because I don't want to see your stupid face. And I spent the day basically going, I know what I have to do. I have to get her out of my life. And here's a message. I actually saved it, that I sent her over Snapchat that night. And I blocked her immediately after sending this. Ahem. I've decided that I no longer want you in my life. My explanation will be short because frankly I don't want to give you much more of my time. Consider doing this over Snapchat my way of making sure I don't become like you. On Friday you told me that you make people feel guilty to get your way. On purpose, with the direct intention of making them feel bad for your own personal benefit. You've obviously been doing it your whole life, but I only met you in middle school. I thought you were mentally fucked or something, but I never thought you were despicable enough to do it on purpose. The first time I left you, it was because you tried to strangle me. I know it didn't seem like a big deal to you, but I personally like being able to breathe. I don't want friends who can't keep their hands off me. But even more sinister than that is the manipulation. If you had a bad day, it was my fault. I had to fix it. I was good at math, so I had to help with yours before I could even start mine. I was bad at French, and I still had to make sure you had done everything perfectly, even if I didn't understand it myself. It feels like whenever I said no, you guilt-tripped me into doing whatever you wanted. I know you don't care about me. I'm no saint, and I can be a piece of shit. I still remember the bruises you left on George's legs. Well, I took photos because I knew you would deny it. They're on my old iPad. I just literally need a fucking Apple cord to plug it back in. I can get them back. I won't send them to you because I'm not that sadistic. I feel sick looking at them. Georgia has done nothing to you, and you have no right to treat her like that. Especially since you know you're taking advantage of her because she's too nice to tell you to fuck off. In the end, this is between the two of us. I'm perfectly aware that I still have to spend 3 hours and 45 minutes with you every school day, but we can make it more pleasant between the two of us by keeping it civil. If I have to cuss you out in front of the entire class because you don't leave me alone, that's on you. They'll believe me when I have to tell them all about you and your shitty personality. So just stay quiet, keep your anger to yourself. Keep your hands off, and we'll both keep ours clean. I haven't told anybody else about this, mainly because I hope at some point you realize how disgusting you are and decide to change. You still deserve a chance, just not one with me. Please refrain your conversations about me to we had a falling out or something equally vague. I'm still going to talk to our mutual friends. Don't attempt to turn them against me. It worked surprisingly enough. She once again tried to rumor her way out of it, but didn't succeed. Yeah, like, my school put out, well, not my school, somebody from my school put out a, oh my god, gossip blog, since, quarantine happened and there wasn't, there was no way to get it from anywhere else. So people were posting about everything, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put this little bit out there. Brianne, no last name given, tried to strangle me in the 9th grade. And yeah, a lot of people were backing me up. And she came to harass me and was like, just leave your strangulation fetish somewhere else. Like, she still denies it, which really pissed me off. But luckily, it didn't end there completely. There's still one more run-in with her. Now, remember, I never had a chance to drink at Kel's house. Well, luckily around here, the whole grad year gets together for massive parties. This was the first one. I was ready to get kinda drunk. I hadn't ever drank heavily before this night, and I'll give all of you young lanes some advice. Do not drink things quickly for your first time. Take it slow. You'll keep up perfectly fine. Make sure you feel the changes little by little, not all at once. This is especially important if you're like me and have some issues with panic attacks, because if the effects hit you all at once, you'll just kind of go crazy, because you'll be like, I can't see right, I can't focus on anything, I can't walk right. You just will not feel safe in your body in the same way that you normally are able to. So just take it slow. If it feels too much, back off. Nobody's paying attention. If they are, just say, ooh, I'm saving this so I can get fucked later once everybody's gonna be like, looking for alcohol. I don't know. Make something up. People don't care. Yeah, I got very fucked up. So, first time, half a bottle of gin, 4 vodka sodas, and whatever other drinks people would let me try in an hour. I was unsteady enough that I thought I was going to fall into the fire pit. Luckily, I knew I was a hazard, so I went up to a bunch of random girls and told them to find Beta and send them to me, because Beta was a good friend of mine, and I knew that she'd had experience with people being fucked up drunk, and I also knew that she was a smoker, so I knew she wouldn't be drunk or completely fucked by that point yet. So yeah, she came through. It was great that she came to help me, because it was not a great night for me. I was really scared. I was throwing rocks at anyone who wasn't Beta and screaming at them to get away. It was a very bad trip. And while this was happening, Brianne was trying to start shit. She went up to some girls we both knew and went on about how horrible it was. I am ever grateful that they stood up for me. But Brianne, ever the saint, and probably the most hateful thing she said, not in front of me, said she was going to go up to me and tell me how horrible I was, and that I should kill myself. And that maybe I'd have the guts to actually do it with all the alcohol I'd had. So, there's a really good rugby team at my school. And I think a good 4 of the girls she went up to, or maybe 5, were on the rugby team. So she got beat up. I never saw, but apparently it was beautiful. Alright, yeah, I got the numbers wrong there, yeah. 5 rugby girls and a dancer. They had to be pulled off and held back, and people just kicked her out after they heard what she did. So, overall, that was a lot longer than I thought it was. But, yeah, shout out to Minors for letting me post this on his thing. We'll, we'll see if it ever gets turned into a video. I don't think so, which is why I'm filming it myself here. He'll probably do a better job than me. He does great voices, but that's why I'm here practicing. Yeah, so that was Shitty Person numero uno on la vie. There's one more story that I want to do about Charles actually, because I think I could make a very good neckbeard out of him. I think just get that little petty revenge. But for now, I want to thank you all for listening and being here, and take very good care of yourselves. I feel like I squint a lot.